Hi, me again. I want to make something very clear, and I got to do this. I want to explain, for the record, some. I want. Somebody responded on my page, and they said they're very respectful. I appreciate that. Listen, sir. Oh, she's calling me sir because out of respect, not because I'm so old. Anyway. I realize your beliefs are. I realize your beliefs are about the Bible and Jesus. I believe your beliefs are about the Bible and Jesus. And what you are not realizing is that not everybody in this world believes in your Christian God and the Bible or in Jesus. And when you force religion-based opinions upon society by not allowing gays to adopt. That's so basically she's saying because I'm forcing them by not allowing them adopt is because of religious reasons. Okay, and my point is it's not. No, you know what? It just happens to be immoral, and it just happens to be, and God just also happens to speak about it. But that's not why I have a serious problem with it. And I told you I mentioned that my serious problem is because of I have a problem with it being untruthful and it being biologically and intellectually and logically incorrect. I've said it 1,000. It jumps the track. The train of thought jumps the track of logic. It doesn't make sense. It's wrong. It's in error. On a technical, it's dysfunctional. Okay? We as a government, the laws of marriage, okay, should be between a man and a woman, not just because God says so. And I say that God says so because the reasons why is in the laws of nature. It is the laws of nature, biologically and technically, that is why gays should never be considered for marriage or adoption. It should have never happened. But they allow it for the adoption because they said, oh, well, they're in a foster home and that is a bad situation for a child. And I completely disagree. I completely disagree. Now, I haven't been in a foster home, and I know that every institution can be abused. You know, Oprah Winfrey had a school. She did a beautiful thing, which is teach children, and somebody went in there and started sexually abusing the little girls. And so I understand that every system is abused. You know, our government is abused, and they're abusing this system, and the adoption agency is abusing the laws of adoption. Why? Because, why do I say this? That regardless of my religion is only good sense. Okay, to me, I understand you don't understand it, but to me, wisdom, religion, Christianity, the following of Christ, meaning Christ, is wisdom. Let me explain. And that, therefore, the laws of God follows throughout nature. Okay, that's my point. The laws of God follow throughout nature, and it is unnatural. And that is why homosexuals cannot have children. They cannot reproduce. And I said that because of procreation was the thing that made black people, made white people admit that blacks were human. Technically biological. And I'm saying the same technical biological reason is why homosexuals should never be awarded adopted children. Okay, now it's different and circumstantial if a woman gets pregnant by a man and she decides to be with another woman after having her child. And that's the slippage, that's the gray area that they use to say, well, then she needs a brother and sister. Then you should have went back to the man that you got pregnant by. not go through an agency and say, oh, we don't want the child to be lonely. You should have thought about keeping your marriage together if you wanted that. If you were so concerned about the child. You know, you should have worked things out, or got somebody some counseling, or got them, or helped your husband to be a better person, or reform them, or start to deal with their inside, their soul. And so basically that's what's not happening. And the same pridefulness is spinning out of control, because whenever you can't admit that you're wrong or something, you will continue to go in the direction that that's what pride does. You can't, as long as you never admit that you're wrong about something. And what I'm saying is that you're wrong about this marriage, because marriage, one of the elements of marriage is procreation, bloodlines, protecting, exclusivity, and things like that. Now it has a greater purpose, and my thing is that it has a natural born purpose, and I'll prove it. Again, like I said, because of procreation, we have been considered human beings, and blacks have been considered human beings and not subhuman. And it is the very lack of procreation throughout all homosexuality. Two homosexuals cannot get together, same sex, and have a child, which eliminates it from being meeting the requirements of marriage. Now you say, well, some heterosexuals are infertile. That's some. That's not all ever, and never can even think about it. There are 80%, at least 90 to 80% of people are fertile. So that makes heterosexuals qualified for having children, 90% so, where homosexuals can never ever have children. They are never suitable. So why are we giving them children if they can never have children? Because you say, well, and so that to me is the basis of why the government should. And so if you can't have sex, then it's not a species type of thing. It's not a humane, and so it's inhumane rights that we are trying to protect. Now, to get to the final point, where they say, oh, well, it's just two people that love each other, it doesn't matter. And here is the Kazilla. Take a seat. Nature itself, you say, oh, it doesn't matter. Nature in itself it has to have two different, like I say, like magnets. It's two energy. It has to be a positive energy force to come together. It's technological in the laws of nature, which is produce life. So we should not be making laws that are that are in things that don't produce life, that are death. And it is, and the fact that God says it's a sin is because it produced death. It doesn't produce life, so it's death. It dies. It doesn't sustain itself. Homosexuality is a subset, is dependent, is parasitic on heterosexuality. Okay, back to adoption. People say it does not matter whether you have two fathers or two females. And I say throughout nature, that is absolutely wrong on a major grandiose scale. And here's why. If you take, can you see this? Can you see this? Right here. You see? Right here. See that? That's a sun. It's in my other artwork. That's a sun. There's a moon. Okay? Sun and a moon. The sun usually means like the male, the father, and the moon actually usually means like the mother. Okay? One lights the day, one lights the night. They are two different lights, two different energy sources for making that the earth, the planet that we are on, when we have two rotations going in a circle, in a cycle, that they both get puts the appropriate amount of different types of energy to nature, in nature. That's what a man and a woman, sun and a moon, mother and father is like on the earth, on a child. Okay? If you have two sons, when the earth rotates, it will burn up the earth. It's too much heat. And if you have two moons, instead of a sun and a moon, it will cause the moon, it will not be, everything on it will die. It will not get the appropriate amount of deviated energy. And that's what I'm saying. It follows through. There are two different lights. When you have two fathers, you are giving two of the wrong kinds of energy to a child. And when you have two mothers, you are giving it the inappropriate amount of energy to a child. It is not. All the plantations won't live. If you have two sons, everything will burn up. So when you have two fathers, you're giving it too much macho male hormone and testosterone, and when you have two females, you're giving it too much estrogen. You're giving it too much female vibe, and for every mother on the planet needs to be angry if they say. At least every woman, should be mad when they say, as much as they think men can't do, females don't think men can do anything right anyway. For gays to say that it don't make a difference, that two men can outdo a mother. That's ridiculous. Every mother on the planet, Mother's Day. So what are you going to have? What kind of day you going to have? On the gay marriage, Dad's Day, Daddy and Daddy Day, or what? You never have a Mother's Day, and you never have a Father's Day. It just don't work. These are two. God has set the whole universe in place, and anything that is out in the step with that. Now that's not religious. It really is the energy, and for you to say that a male, which is a man, can teach a little girl how to be better than a mother, that every female mother on the planet, they need to be saying, whoa, you just screwed over every mother on the planet. Just no respect for anybody just to get you what you want. That's not even good common sense to say that two men can raise a little girl, or even a boy needs a mother's love. He needs the mother feel. To say that it doesn't matter, he needs to wrap himself against his mother's bosom. You saying that they don't need that? God, you should be ashamed. America should be ashamed of themselves.